Hello everyone, I'm Beastly Eel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the latest episodes of The Bad Batch. So this was a 2 episode premiere, which was episode 6 and 7. So I'll go over, as I always do, the episodes and then talk about where I think the season is going to go. So episode 6 starts off with Rex escorting a senator to meet another senator by the name of Riao Chuchi, and I could be pronouncing her name wrong. But we've seen her a few times in the Bad Batch and also the Clone Wars. At one point, she was removed as Senator of Pantoras, but somehow in the Bad Batch, she's again a senator. So it's unclear as how that happened. But anyway, she's trying to work with other senators, to try to build up the resistance against the Empire, and specifically Palpatine. So they're having a conversation, and while this is going on, an operative, a shadow operative, we've seen before, um, trying to take out the senator. So it's this elaborate plan to remove the senator from existence. Rex was able to suss it out, and they took him out. Now, when I say they took him out, they actually just knocked him out. So they took him into custody, and Rex explained to the senator that maybe that they should keep a low profile until things die down. So they're going through the memory bank of um, the shadow, which showed their hit target list, and obviously the senator being one, Omega being another. So that's when they call the Bad Batch in to try to talk to them. And during this, we can already hear some, I guess you would say, resistance to the idea of working with Crosshairs, mostly due to the fact that he was part of the Empire, and because of that, he must be the enemy. So they call him in, and the Bad Batch comes a little reluctantly, in the sense of they're not quite sure why Rex is calling them, but they know it can't be good. So they get Echo brings them there, drops them off. They go in before they leave. Before Echo leaves, I'm sorry. He gives Omega an energy crossbow. She gets excited. They then go inside. Soon as Crosshairs meets the rest of the group, he is met with resistance and animosity right from the get go, mostly due to the fact that once a traitor, always a traitor in their mind. And that's when he's trying to explain to them that, yeah, I was, but in my mind, I'm back now. So that was a whole thing that one of them didn't really care about, and they're trying to get more information about what was going on the area, the planet that they were on. So during that, Crosshairs finds out that the operative is alive and in the area, and that's when Crosshairs is basically like, "Whoa, we cannot do this. Like, we need to get this guy out of here now, or we need to move." And everyone's kind of just like, "What are you talking about?" He explains that there's a way that they can track the guy without being registered by any of the scanners. So they wanted to know more information. So he explained that there was a group of clones that volunteered to be experimented on for the re-education process, and that would make them basically the most elite clones of all. And they were trying to figure out, how does Crosshairs know so much about this? And Crosshairs explains that it was because he was a part of it. They attempted to change him. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, because of his augmentations and abnormalities as a clone, he was actually able to resist the process. And because of that, it did not take. So that being said, we have this operative, and now there's another operative who is being summoned to the location to remove the shadow clone. So, this shadow operative comes down, assesses the area, puts bombs pretty much everywhere, sees the location, and spots Omega. Then reports back to base to explain, hey, I know what's going on. There's the operative is there. The operative has not been taken out, and Hyman's Dr. Hyman's um, specific target has been identified. And he's relaying this information to a character that we were introduced to, or I shouldn't say introduced to. We definitely saw a lot of, or enough of, I should say, in Rebels, which was Wolf. And he explains that are you positive that you know what's going on down there, and that is definitely Omega. And he confirmed that that's what it was. So they decide to head over to the location. So now the Imperial force, led by Wolf, is now going to be going down to the planet to take out the operative and to extract Omega and bring him back to the lab. So as this is going on, bombs then go off. Crosshairs and everyone else starts opening fire on the Shadow. The Shadow is temporarily taken out by an explosion that was let off. So this Shadow clone was taking out pretty much all of the clones with ease. One of them had a flamethrower and was trying to burn him. Unfortunately, was unable to do so, was taken down, and the flamethrower blew up a bunch of grenades and ammunition, which then caused an explosion inside of the spire, which caused some of it to concave in, which actually separated the Shadow from the rest of the group. So now the rest of the group decides to go down into a hole in the spire to escape somewhere else. Wolf comes in with his men. They assess the situation, yelling at the Shadow Operative to try to figure out what the heck it was thinking, because it could have killed Omega. And the Shadow explains that Omega's fine, he's not worried about it, and that they were going to have to take out the group immediately. So Wolf orders his men to plug up the hole and head to the spire, where they will head off the group and take them out. The operative decides to go down into the hole and go down to follow them. While this is happening, Wolf says, "You know what? Just plug up the hole anyway, and we'll catch up around the other side." So his operatives do so, and they go around to the spire. Underground, we have the group making it to the location of the spire, and there's a little bit of heart to heart to try to understand what's going on. And Crosshairs kind of states that the reason why he was doing what he was doing was because he thought he was a loyal soldier and thought that that's what the loyal soldier does. But then it turned out that the Empire did not care about anybody being loyal and would remove anybody with ease. And they all kind of agreed and continued on. Crosshairs um, decides to take on the operative. In the spire, he is having a difficult time shooting him because mostly because of the experimentation, I would imagine, and his hands not being able to work properly. So he decides to do something very different and puts a grenade on it, shoots it at the guy, hits the wall because he's not great with his aim anymore. It explodes and sends the guy falling down, catches himself, and pulls himself into the spire. They begin to fight again. They escape the spire, they start fighting. Um, During this whole thing, they now have so now they're outside and there's a big fog and they're starting to take out men one by one, right? And they're running out of smoke grenades. In fact, I think they ran out of smoke grenades. And that's when Crosshairs goes after the Shadow Operative on his own. During that, there was a fight that ensues, hand to hand combat. Crosshairs loses the fight, is being choked underwater when the operative gets stunned by Rex and pulled out of the water, and the rest of the group kind of regroups. That's when Wolf's team comes in, surrounds the group, and he explains. Rex recognizes Wolf. They begin to have a conversation. Rex tries to explain to him that the Empire is being experimented on. You got to realize what you're doing. Like the Empire is experimenting on clones. We're being captured, prisoned, and basically thrown to the side. And Wolf doesn't believe it at first, but he's like, "You got to understand. Like, think about this. You're you're being ordered to hunt down a child. Do you have any idea that that's not anything that you're supposed to be doing?" So Wolf decides to let them go. They take off. They get off planet, and apparently Wolf's troop is all clones, I believe. So they're kind of like, "Well, what's the plan now?" And he basically states that we're gonna have to go hunt them down again. And they're like, "Well, orders are orders." And he's like, "Yeah, but they're clones too, and so are we." And so it's kind of a weird interaction of like so we kind of see Wolf getting ready to turn on the Empire. But the big piece here was seeing the Shadow Operative come out of the water on the bottom of the waterfall and climb to the edge and is alive. So we now know that the Empire is going to continue to go after Omega, and their new mission is now to try to find out why the Empire truly wants Omega and why they are willing to do anything it takes to actually take her. So it's very curious to see what's going to happen in the next few episodes. I would imagine that they're going to try to find more information um, on the Empire, but also specifically on that planet where Omega and Crosshairs escaped from, because that's going to be the only location that they can find the information that they need to understand why Omega is being targeted more than anybody else. But overall, I did like these episodes, and let me know what you guys thought about these episodes in the comments down below. Did you like it? Did you not? Tell me why. And as always, if you like the content you see, please make sure you like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a great night.